At just 17 years old, she had her whole life ahead of her, until her murder became a spectacle. In a chilling turn of events, photos of her lifeless body spread like wildfire across social media, turning her tragedy into a viral sensation. This is the story of Bianca Devins. 17-year-old Bianca from Utica, New York, was a young girl who was deeply loved by her family and friends. She was known for her creativity and lively personality, which made her stand out. Bianca was a talented artist who loved to draw and take photos. She often shared her artwork and thoughts online, where she gained a lot of attention and appreciation. On Instagram, she embraced the style of an e-girl, a popular trend that included wearing colorful clothes, bold makeup, and having unique hairstyles. Her fun and expressive personality quickly earned her a growing number of followers who admired her. Despite her strong online presence, Bianca was just like any other teenager. She went to school, spent time with her family, and enjoyed hanging out with her friends. She was navigating the ups and downs of growing up while exploring her identity in both the online and the offline world. Bianca was no stranger to making friends online, finding comfort in digital spaces that allowed her to connect with people who shared her interests. It was through Instagram that she first met Brandon Clark. Their initial interactions were warm and friendly, blossoming into regular conversations as they discovered common ground. Over time, this online bond deepened, leading them to take their connection offline. Meeting in person felt like a natural progression for Bianca, who often used social media to bridge her world with others. While their relationship grew closer, it carried nuances that hinted at differing perspectives. Brandon started referring to himself as her boyfriend with a lot of intensity. Bianca, on the other hand, seemed to view him just as a close friend and had told him this a couple of times, but it seemed like Brandon was not taking the hint. On July 13, 2019, Bianca and Brandon decided to go to a concert together in New York City. During the event, Bianca reportedly kissed another person, an act that triggered intense feelings of jealousy and anger in Brandon. His emotions spiraled out of control, and what could have ended as a minor disagreement quickly escalated into something far more dangerous. After the concert, the both of them left the city together, driving toward Utica. The tension between them grew, leading to a heated argument. This verbal conflict soon turned physical. Brandon was getting violent and later sliced her neck with a long knife that he had hidden by his seat. The assault was very brutal. The severity of her wounds was horrifying, with her neck nearly cut off in the attack. Her body was left in the car as Clark built a bonfire and listened to music. What made this tragedy even more unsettling was what happened next. Brandon's actions following the murder went beyond comprehension. Social media wasn't just a part of Bianca's life, but was also part of her death. After committing the murder, Brandon did not flee or even try to hide his crime. Instead, he documented it on Instagram, where he shared a series of unsettling posts as if he were curating an artful yet horrifying gallery. Just before dawn on July 14th, Brandon posted cryptic stories on Instagram. The first was a still from the movie Fight Club. He followed this with a second photo captioned with lyrics from the song Black Cadillac by Hollywood Undead. His final post was a gruesome image of Bianca's torso. He also posted photographs of Bianca's body to a Discord server with the chilling caption, "Sorry guys, you're going to have to find somebody else to orbit." Orbit here is a term used when a male invests time and effort into mingling with women in the hope of eventually getting into a romantic relationship or having intercourse with them. Adding to the horror, after Brandon shared graphic images of Bianca's lifeless body, he started taunting and mocking her grieving friends. A video of the murder was also made by him. By 7 a.m., Discord users who had come across the photos had notified the police, who received numerous calls, including one from Clark. In his call to the dispatcher, Clark had said, "My name is Brandon, the victim is Bianca Michelle Devins. I'm not going to stay on the phone for long because I still need to do the self-exit part of the murder self-exit." Responding quickly to the reports, officers were dispatched to the scene in Utica, New York. When law enforcement arrived, they found Brandon near his SUV in a deeply distressed and erratic state. As the officers approached, Brandon attempted to harm himself by stabbing his neck with a knife, causing significant injuries. In a final macabre gesture, he laid across the tarp covering Bianca's lifeless body. Even with police on the scene, Brandon continued to document the gruesome aftermath, using Snapchat to post images and updates. This blatant disregard for human life and decency shocked everyone involved and underscored the darker side of social media. Despite his erratic behavior, officers managed to subdue Brandon after a brief struggle. They disarmed him and placed him under arrest before ensuring he received medical attention for his self-inflicted injuries. Brandon was transported to a hospital, where he underwent surgery to treat the wounds on his neck. Once his condition stabilized, he was officially charged with second-degree murder for the brutal killing of Bianca Devins. The fact that he had a knife and equipment to videotape the killing was now proof that he had planned the murder. Upon searching his phone, they also found that he had made online searches on how to find the carotid artery, how to incapacitate or kill someone, and general searches for choking and hanging. His callousness went beyond the crime itself. He used the internet as a stage to prolong the suffering of those closest to Bianca, and in doing so exposed the world to his monstrous actions. One of the most painful aspects of Bianca's death was the reaction online. While the murder itself was tragic, the internet's response exposed an even darker reality about our current social media landscape. Within hours of Brandon's posts, Instagram and other platforms like Twitter went viral with graphic images of Bianca's body, spreading faster than platforms could control. Instagram, which has policies against explicit content, was quite slow to act. The disturbing photos remained on Brandon's story for nearly 20 hours before being removed, allowing millions of users to view and share them. The insensitivity of some users compounded the tragedy. There were hundreds of posts praising Brandon for the murder. Others went further, using Bianca's death to gain attention. There were comments like, "Follow me," and claims of having the full video and more gory pictures. Certain individuals even created fake accounts in Bianca's name, capitalizing on her tragic death to gain followers and notoriety. Despite the overwhelming negativity, there was also a heartwarming response from Bianca's followers and other empathetic users. To honor her memory and drown out the horrific images, a movement called Pink for Bianca was born. Users shared soft pastel-colored images, flowers, clouds, and serene scenes in shades of pink, Bianca's favorite color. This campaign aimed to replace the violent images with gentle, beautiful ones that represented her spirit. Most of the Pink for Bianca supporters were young women, like Bianca, who wanted to create a sense of solidarity and hope in an otherwise grim situation. A participant named Naomi shared her motivation with BBC, saying she wanted to not let the monsters win. This effort, though symbolic, offered a measure of healing to Bianca's family, who expressed gratitude for the love and respect shown to their daughter's memory. On July 29, 2019, Clark pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder. He was later charged with promoting prison contraband after corrections officers found a shiv constructed out of a sharpened toothbrush in his cell. He had also allegedly composed a letter to a friend around this time, bragging and noting how it felt to kill. This letter explained his motive. He couldn't handle the thought of her walking out of his life. On February 10, 2020, before his trial, Clark changed his plea to guilty. His sentencing was scheduled for April 7th, but was delayed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. On June 2nd, he filed a notice to withdraw his guilty plea, claiming that his lawyer had failed him. This, however, was denied, as he had admitted to his guilt. His hearing took place on September 30th, 2020, and finally on March 16th, 2021, Clark was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. He has formally expressed remorse for his actions, but we can never be sure of his sincerity.
It's never been enough. It's never been adequate, I felt, to really convey my emotions and to apologize. How do you meaningfully apologize for doing something so horrible and so irreversible? And that's the worst part, is that I can't take it back. I want to. I wish I could. I would give my life in a heartbeat to Bianca if I could. And I can't. Every day I wake up and I wonder how she would have spent that day if she were still here.
This case revealed two differing sides of human nature. On one side were those who honored Bianca's memory with love and compassion. On the other side were individuals who exploited the photos posted by Brandon, treating it as an opportunity to garner fame. This juxtaposition underscores the dual-edged nature of social media, a tool that has the power to connect and inspire, but also to harm and desensitize.
On July 14, 2019, life as I knew it ended, when my daughter's life was violently cut short. Bianca was not only my daughter, but my best friend. I used to say that no matter what life throws at me, as long as I have my children and they are happy and healthy, I will be okay. I no longer have that sense of security. Bianca, her sister Olivia, and I did everything together. We were always a team. Olivia and I have lost our irreplaceable teammate. In everything we do, there was always a sense of something missing. Bianca should be with us. With the death of your child comes the most unimaginable, indescribable pain. A pain that time cannot heal and only seems to worsen. Life without Bianca will never be the same. Olivia, Madison, Dustin, Jordan, and Dakota no longer have their big sister and protect her to guide them through life. Bianca will not experience the joy of watching her siblings grow up and growing alongside them. There are no more trips to the park and swinging with Bianca. No more late night talks and big sister advice. No more car rides laughing as Bianca sings at the top of her lungs. All these joys and more have been stolen from us. Worst of all, there are no more hugs, kisses, and I love yous and the sweet sound of Bianca's voice. I'm now left to have to answer questions from Bianca's younger siblings that I don't have the answer to. Why didn't Bianca come home? She told us she would see us tomorrow. When is BB coming home? Brandon Clark has shown that he has no regard for human life. He stole my daughter's life from her and his family for his own selfish reasons that I will never understand.
The viral nature of Bianca's case demonstrated just how quickly a tragedy can spiral out of control online. Graphic content, insensitive commentary, and sensationalized narratives spread rapidly, overshadowing the actual loss of a young life. Such exploitation not only deepened the pain of Bianca's grieving family, but also reflected a broader societal issue, the commodification of tragedy.
July 14th, 2019. A date I will never forget, but a day my mind won't allow me to remember. I opened my front door at 7 a.m. after being woken up by repeated knocking, not at all expecting to see men in uniform. They ask me, "Are you Bianca Devins?" I reply with no, and I hastily run up the stairs to wake up my mom. I couldn't tell you what happened in the next 3 hours, but by the time it was 10 a.m., as I'm standing in my kitchen while police officers are with my mom in the living room, I hear on the radio, "A girl was found with a little black book bag." I automatically knew it was my sister. I don't remember the rest of the day. The next few weeks go by and it felt like I was in a nightmare, except I was in my worst nightmare. And no matter how hard I try to wake up, I, to this day, cannot. Months pass and I'm still not processing it, trying so hard to do anything that will keep my mind off the fact that my sister is gone. Distractions are only temporary though, so when reality set in, that is when I realized this is no longer a nightmare. This is my life. The first few months I couldn't bring myself to think about it. When I finally started to process my reality, crying began. And tears caused by grief are not normal tears. It is a sensation that consumes you. It consumes you to the point where it feels as though someone is stepping on your chest and pulling on your throat. I got to a point where I was scared to cry because I was absolutely terrified that the next time I did, I would be stuck in that horrific state of grief.
The events surrounding Bianca's death compel us to ask an important question. Have the worst monsters of society simply stepped out of the shadows, or are they now hiding within the screens we engage with every day? In this case, the monster wasn't just Brandon Clark. It was also the faceless individuals who exploited a tragedy for personal gain. These are the people who saw Bianca's murder not as a heartbreaking loss of a young life, but as an opportunity to spread graphic content, spark controversy, or garner attention. Bianca Devins's story is undeniably tragic, not only because of her untimely and brutal death, but also because of the disturbing way her case was treated online. Her memory serves as a reminder of our shared humanity, urging us to treat one another with respect and compassion, both online and offline. And that brings us to the end of today's case. If you have any insights or information about this case, please let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, when we bring you another bone-chilling case, right here on Slice of Darkness.